in the snow because of the adverse weather that is in Minneapolis. They were attempting.
Hey, so on. Before I get this lesson started, this report, I want to give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rekagadash, and double honors to the elders and the apostles, the great millstone of whom I learn from. It's your brother Adah. It's a breaking news. A so-called white woman, an Edomite, was shot by ICE, and we got more footage now. It was unsure what was going on earlier. Some brothers were talking about it. Some brothers, I thought it was somebody that was Northern Kingdom. No, this is a Edomite. This is a so-called white woman. Why do we bring in color? Because this matters. It matters. Because this also is part of prophecy, man. I will set the Egyptian against the Egyptian. So we're going to show you this woman right here, this beautiful, I think this is a Northern Kingdom girl. She works for Esau. Beautiful woman, brunette. But she's put in that position to lie for Esau. So here you're going to see her lie, and then we're going to show you all the other videos that show what they are saying is not the truth.
Was our ICE officers were out in an enforcement action. They got stuck in the snow because of the adverse weather that is in Minneapolis. They were attempting to push out their vehicle, and a woman attacked them and those surrounding them and attempted to run them over and ram them with her vehicle.
And that's the woman right there, the girl driving in that SUV. She was parked at an angle. They approached her. She was trying to get out of traffic, bro. She wasn't attacking shit. Look at this shit. Listen to what she's saying, but watch the vehicle up top.
An officer of ours acted quickly.
So she pulls out, and there's another video that shows it more closer.
And defensively shot to protect himself and the people around him. Right, and
so she's not even the car. No one's in front of her vehicle. Everyone's to the side. She's not a threat. She's pulling away from them, and the guy shoots her.
My understanding is that she was shot to protect himself and the people around him. And
you see the shot? I got another video. It's more clear. It's slowed down, but check it out.
Understanding is that she was hit and is deceased.
You tell me if that sounds accurate. An American citizen was shot in the face while driving away from ICE agents. They were yanking on her door handle. There was one on the passenger side, one on the driver's side. She was driving away from them, and an ICE agent shot her in the face. This is Kristi Noem's reason for why they did this. An American citizen. This happened in Minneapolis on Portland and 34th. The road is closed. There's a bunch of people there, and I guarantee that there will be a huge protest about this. The mayor of the city told them to get the fuck out of my city. Love that.
She wasn't there protesting. She got stuck in the traffic jam that they created, and she was trying to go around it, and they came to her car, and then she ended up dead. So look at, I got some videos.
I need y'all to see.
I got videos saved. Hold on, look. This is fucking crazy, bro. This shit, man, it's going to escalate, you guys. Watch, right? Let me see.
Oh, she's like... I'm sitting...
Breaking.
So this is the one, it's slowed, right? You look at the angle of her car, you can see it. They're not threatened by her. She's trying to get away. Boom, there goes a shot. So now she's dead, and she's still driving, and then she wrecks into the back of another car. You see it again. Boom. She was pulling away from them as they were trying to get into her car, which is what every woman should do. And she wasn't there protesting. She was trying to get out of the traffic jam. That's why her car is so to the angle, exaggerate like that. She was backing away from the traffic jam, trying to get to where she was going. And now she's dead. This is usually what happens to Jake. That's why one of the brothers from GMS Kansas City, but it was unclear because I thought the same thing too. I assumed it was Northern Kingdom. No, this is a fucking Edomite. Look at these clumsy fucks, man. These dudes are so fucking clumsy, man.
Breaking news. The woman shot and killed by an ICE agent in Minneapolis today has been identified as 37-year-old Renee Nichole Good, according to her mother. Donna Granger told the Minnesota Star-Tribune that her daughter lived in the Twin Cities with her partner and that the family was notified of Renee's death late this morning. After learning some of the circumstances surrounding the shooting, Granger said, quote, "That's so stupid. She was probably terrified," end quote. She rejected federal claims that her daughter was involved in any confrontation with immigration agents or protesters. This is what Granger said of her daughter. Renee was one of the kindest people I've ever known. She was extremely compassionate. She's taken care of people all her life. She was loving, forgiving, and affectionate. She was an amazing human being. Good had previously been married to Timmy Ray Macklin Jr., who died in 2023 at the age of 36, and Macklin's father, Timmy Ray Macklin Sr., said that the couple shared a young child who is now around 4 or 5 years old. Macklin Sr. said the following: "There's nobody else in his life. I'll drive, I'll fly to come and get my grandchild," end quote. The investigation into Renee Nichole Good's killing is ongoing as state and local officials continue to dispute the federal government's account of why an ICE agent opened fire and killed Renee.
I was reading comments on someone's page, and all the right-wing Edomites were like, "Oh, the libtards, there's some angry woman." It was making sense what they were saying, but when you look at the footage, it's like, it doesn't look like what they're saying she is. It doesn't look like she was doing any of that shit. She was just in her car trying to get away.
I'm sitting here at my desk now, just catching up on some of the news and watching the horrific video of the blatant murder by an ICE officer in Minneapolis. As you can see from watching the video, there was no threat to this man's life. There was no threat to anyone. The poor woman victim was simply...
Breaking news. The woman...
And this is the video he's talking about. Look, she's pulling away from them. Boom. Blast her ass. Boom. Right there. You see the gun smoke.
Breaking...
I'm sitting here at my desk now, just catching up on some of the news and watching the horrific video of the blatant murder by an ICE officer in Minneapolis. As you can see from watching the video, there was no threat to this man's life. There was no threat to anyone. The poor woman victim was simply trying to drive away. She was escaping from the federal officers. As you watch the path of the car after she's shot, it turns because she's trying to clearly get away. So then I look and I see the statement from the Department of Homeland Security spokesperson, Tricia McLaughlin, claiming that this is domestic terrorism, an act of domestic terrorism, that this lady, the victim, quote, weaponized her vehicle. That is absolute bullshit. There is nothing remotely in that video, and we don't need more evidence.
And this is what Esau does to Israel, to Jacob, all day long since the beginning of his rulership. I'm going to come back to this. But what's awesome, look, in many ways, I'm not celebrating this woman's death. I'm celebrating the reality of it. And the reality of it is human nature never, ever relates to a sin. And we don't need them to relate, but we need them to see their hypocrisy. Human nature never relates to a situation that other human beings are in until they go through it themselves. Right? The scriptures say that the wicked speak loftily concerning oppression. Now, this is happening to an Edomite, and the Edomites are seeing their own power structure literally demonize this woman to justify their actions, just like they did with Valenzuela. They demonized Valenzuela. Oh, they're drug dealers, to justify their illegal actions. And so what are they going to do in this situation? They're going to demonize this. Normally, they wouldn't demonize an Edomite. They would be able to sue and get a big old fucking, $500 million fucking lawsuit, because the laws somewhat do apply for the Edomites that are on the bottom. That shit's all being lifted, right? So there was a precept I wanted to get, and I just forgot about it. Damn. I know this one is going to work. There it is, Revelations 2:10. And there's another one, but we want to get that. So look, let's go in the blue letter and go to Revelations 2, verse 10. For the devil will throw some of you. So look, so fear none of those. Listen, Yahushua is speaking. This is prophecy. So fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison. So this is Yahushua, the one whom the world ignorantly and wickedly calls Jesus Christ. This is Yahushua speaking to the apostle and prophet John on the island of Patmos. For none of those things, fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. Now look at this word devil. Now what's the devil going to do? It's going to throw you into prison. So who is this devil? Is it the prince, demon, spirit, Satan, like Renaissance Western Christianity teaches? Or is it a race of people? Is it a man? Is it a human being? Look, the word is diabolos. Look, prone to slander. What is? Let's get the etymon online. What does slander mean? Slander. Let's look at it. The state of impaired reputation, disgrace or dishonor, a false tale or report spread maliciously. So this is someone who is lying. How does someone do this? How would a spiritual being do this? Well, you could say that he puts the thoughts in your mind. Yeah, but how does that spread? How would you spread that on the media? Ooh, who owns the media? What race of people own and control the media, you guys? And then what do they do on that media? They spread false tales or report spread maliciously, right? That's what they do. They demonize people. Scandalous statement, right? Scandal, cause of offense, stumbling block, temptation. These are all action of situation that brings shame or disgrace, a bad situation, evil action, and in reference to a person causing such a state of affairs. Look, the injury, slander, consists in falsely and maliciously charging another with the commission of some public offense. God, dog, these are some good freaking descriptions. Look at this, man. Who does this, you guys? The so-called fucking white man from his media. The injury, slander, consists in falsely and maliciously charging another with the commission of some public offense. Remember, these are the words of Yahushua being spoken to the apostle and prophet John. So this is not talking about the spiritual demon Satan. It's talking about a race of people. The injury, slanderer, consists in falsely and maliciously charging another with the commission of some public offense, criminal in itself, in order to throw you into prison in the first place, and indictable in subjecting the party to an infamous punishment, prison, death, or involving moral turpitude, or the breach of some public trust, or with any matter in relation to his particular trade or vocation, and which, if true, would render him unworthy of employment, or lastly, with any other matter or thing by which special injury is sustained. Employment, if you don't take the mark, you're not going to be able to buy, sell, and trade. Look at these, bro. Come on, man. So this devil is prone to do all those things that slander is. Slanderous, accusing falsely, a calumniator, false accuser, slanderer, applied to a man who, by opposing the cause of power, may be said to act the part of the devil or to side with him. So Yahushua is speaking about a man. That's what this is talking about, bro. Fear none of those things. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, Esau, the so-called white man, shall cast some of you into prison. And the reason why Yahushua is cleverly saying the devil in Hebrew, it wasn't spoken in Greek, and Paul, or John, the Apostle Paul, is writing it down as such, is because where was John when this revelation was being given to him? He was in prison on the island of Patmos underneath the Edomite rule of Rome. So this is the dark saying, so that this letter could go out, so the Edomites wouldn't know we were talking about them. You got to understand this, you guys. The same race of people doing shit back then are doing it today. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee the crown of life. This is a directive to the Hebrew Israelites. But in these videos, in this particular situation, we see something happening to an Edomite woman, which this is going to catch fire.
I'm sitting here.
It's going to catch fire, and it's going to cause division, further division amongst themselves, which goes into what? It goes into Isaiah 19. Let's get it. Where are you at? There you are. So we're going to go to Isaiah, and Isaiah 19, pretty much the whole chapter is also step by step, line by line, happening right now also in America. I'm telling you, bro, a burden of Egypt. So look, Isaiah 19, the burden of Egypt, behold, Yahweh rideth upon a swift cloud that goes into the chariots, that goes into the UFOs that are being seen all over America. The number one spot in America, in the planet Earth, is America, where the majority of all the UFOs are being sighted, all the chariots, because the eyes of Yahweh are on the bloody city. The burden of Egypt, behold, Yahweh rideth upon a swift cloud, and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence. That goes into a lot. That goes into all the religions. That also goes into the image and the moral image of the so-called white man. That is an idol. People believe that the so-called white man is a very moral, if not the most moral person on planet Earth. That's all being brought down. And the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians. That's going in the Edomites against Edomites, civil war. 2 Ezra 15. They shall no longer regard their princes, right? And I will set the Egyptian against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. Let's go back to the video.
Your friend.
This is good, man. I mean, again, from a prophetic perspective, this is good.
I'm sitting here at my desk now, just catching up on some of the news and watching the horrific video of the blatant murder by an ICE officer in Minneapolis. As you can see from watching the video, there was no threat to this man's life. There was no threat to anyone. The poor woman victim was simply trying to drive away. She was escaping from the federal officers. As you watch the path of the car after she's shot, it turns because she's trying to clearly get away. So then I look and I see the statement from the Department of Homeland Security spokesperson, Tricia McLaughlin, claiming that this is domestic terrorism, an act of domestic terrorism.
Remember what they do. They slander. Right there. They slander. That's what you're seeing. The injury consists in falsely and maliciously charging another with the commission of some public offense, criminal in itself, and indictable, and subjecting the party to an infamous punishment.
Terrorism. That this lady, the victim, quote, weaponized her vehicle. That is absolute bullshit. There is nothing remotely in that video, and we don't need more evidence. The video shows everything that demonstrates that she was trying to actually attack the ICE officer. What is going on is that ICE is hiring so many unqualified people who are not properly trained, giving them weapons, and now they are murdering people. They are actually killing people.
Notice.
Qualified immunity does not apply here. It was such an outrageous and egregious and excessive use of force. And this individual, this ICE officer, needs to be investigated seriously. And I think, based on the video, without knowing more, very likely charged. Stephen Miller, of course, piles on with more domestic terrorism allegations. He doesn't know what domestic terrorism.
Which is what? It goes back to this. The slanderer, which is one of the root words of the word devil in Revelations chapter 2, verse 10, which is talking about a man and his strategies, his stratagem on how he goes about demonizing everyone else while he's doing bad things to you.
Is even if the car hit the ICE officer, it is not domestic terrorism. Stop inflaming and gaslighting the American people. Stop sending your thugs out around this country to now murder Americans who are trying to object to your treacherous immigration dragnet. We're done with this. The American government is now murdering innocent people in the name of immigration enforcement.
And this, I guess this is a what? Republican Dan Goldman? So more than likely, this dude is a freaking Amalekite. And obviously, I don't know if that's him speaking. I'm assuming that it is. Because he's got a pendant on his suit and tie. He's got an American flag behind his face. That looks like him up in the corner. I can't tell. So look, let's read what it says. An ICE officer murdered a woman in cold blood who was clearly trying to drive away. And yet Tricia McLaughlin and Stephen Miller are suspiciously trying to blame the victim. Let's get that word, suspiciously. Suspicious. Suspicious. Let me see. Suspicious. Hold on. SPECIOUS. SPC. Here we go. SPECIOUS. Suspicious. Pleasing to the sight, fair, suspicious. Pleasing to the sight, fair, good looking, beautiful, fair. Suspiciously. Pretend, showy, pretended, plausible, suspicious. Source. I'm trying to see how this. Seemingly desirable. How is that? What the fuck? Let me see. Hold on.
I'm sitting here at my desk.
Suspiciously. Okay. Suspicious. Hold on, bro. So, with a cautious distrust or suspicion of someone or something. What's going on? I asked suspiciously. Okay.
Now just catching up on some of the news and watching the horrific video of the blatant murder by an ICE officer.
That is in Minneapolis.
So this is that lady. She's just going to get up and just listen to what she's going to say. She's going to slander. She's going to speak like a devil, which is what? To accuse. Let's go back to the blue letter, because this is all Esau can do. This is what they do. The devil accuses. Look, these are all the different facets of this word that Yahushua was speaking to the prophet John. Okay? So Esau in Renaissance Christianity told us this was the devil, as in the prince demon Satan. No, when you break this word down, it's got nothing to do with the prince demon spirit. This is describing the stratagem, the tactics of a fucking human being. A race of people in a position of power with a media weapon, with a system of media where they can fucking say all kind of shit about you and make you look like the bad guy. Prone to slander, slanderous, accusing falsely, a calumniator. Let's get that. Let's get it. A calumniator. Calumnator. Calumniator. One who, look at this. One who falsely and knowingly accuses another of anything disgraceful or maliciously propagates false reports. So a calumniator is doing it knowingly. This is not an accident. They're doing this with intelligence. They're doing this with premeditation. To accuse falsely. Knowingly utter false charges. Damn! That's what that is. This is an even better description than an accuser or slanderer. To accuse falsely. Let's see more from Colmenia. Slander, false accusation. Fuck, you guys see that shit, right? And this is what Yahushua said, man. Yahushua said this. A false accuser who knowingly is accusing you of false information is going to throw you in the prison. That's not the spiritual demon, prince demon Satan. That's talking about the so-called white man, you guys. And we see him doing it all the fucking time. Look. So now I'm wondering, because that looks like a predominantly Edomite neighborhood. It sounds like it is. Man, now, so we know Yahweh is behind, Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua is behind everything, right? Amos, if evil has happened in the city, behold, I have done it. If a trumpet is sounded, I have done it, right? But this is starting to look like, I wonder if this was supposed to happen like this. That looks like a predominantly Edomite neighborhood, bro. No, I can hear the Northern Kingdom. Let's see. Okay, let's get that Salakia for that. Okay, so this is a culminator, right? She's culminating. That's the definition. Boy, I love that. Right here, this Edamon Online, man, this is such a good tool. If you guys don't have that, I'd strongly suggest downloading it. One who falsely and knowingly accuses another of anything disgraceful or maliciously propagates false reports. Okay, knowingly. That's key with the definition of this word.
They were attempting to push out their vehicle, and a woman attacked them and those surrounding them and attempted to run them over and ram them with her vehicle. An officer of ours acted quickly and defensively shot to protect himself and the people around him. And my understanding is that she was hit and is deceased. We're continuing to get
look at the comments.
More information, but this goes to show the assaults that our ICE officers and our law enforcement are under every single day. These vehicle rammings are domestic acts of terrorism. We're working with the Department of Justice to prosecute them as such.
Obviously do not know what the pending investigations will reveal about this shooting, but to anyone with eyes, it's clear the Secretary's Noam's description is abjectly false. President Trump echoed Noam. He posted on Twitter, quote, the woman driving the car was very disorderly, obstructing and resisting, who then violently, willfully, and viciously ran over the ICE officer.
Look, let's go back. Colluminator. They're colluminating. It's gonna be one of my new. It's one of my new favorite words. You colluminator. You're a colluminator.
Who seems to have shot her.
Be gone with your colluminations. I'm gonna try to make it sound crazy.
In self-defense, unquote, and President Trump included a version of this video. Trump appears to be slowed down from the original. He added, quote, it is hard to believe he, meaning the officer, is alive.
She did that after, so she's dead. She's already dead when her car crashes like that.
But is now recovering in the hospital, unquote. The agent, of course, we should note, after this incident, the one who shot her, the one that the president said was run over, we see him walking away from the vehicle. Many of these Trump administration assertions are hotly disputed by witnesses on the scene, Minnesota public officials, and frankly, the facts. Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey called Noam's assertion, quote, bullshit. And he added this. Message for ICE. To ICE, get the fuck out of Minneapolis.
See, this is theater too, you guys. I mean, that woman's really dead, but this is kind of looking like this is what they want to. I mean, it's prophecy, but you know what I mean? Like it's fucking theatric.
Do not want you here. Here's outgoing Minnesota Governor Tim Walz. From here on, I have a very simple message. We do not need any further help from the federal government. To Donald Trump and Kristi Noem, you've done enough. Let's get right to CNN's Whitney Wild on the scene. And Whitney, what more are you learning about the victim and the ICE officer?
There's very little information at this point, Jake. All we know is that she was 37 years old, she was a U.S. citizen, she was white. That is it. We do not yet know what Renee...
They had to put it out there because it matters. She was white.
why she was here in this moment. Is she from Minneapolis? Does she have a family? These are all questions we're continuing to ask. As far as the condition of the ICE agent, we're continuing to ask the Department of Homeland Security what the condition of that ICE agent is. But you said it yourself, and you see in the video, he reholsters his firearm and then walks away. So we are still waiting for the official word on that. On the ground, there's heartbreak and there's rage. Earlier today, we saw so much anger here, Jake. I mean, people were screaming at the law enforcement here who were securing the scene, screaming at the federal agents who were on scene, throwing snowballs at their vehicles as they drove away, throwing snowballs.
That's right here. That's where she gets shot. Look, this is where she gets shot right here.
At the Minneapolis Police Department as they drove away. Let me show you what it looks like now. If you can kind of walk over here with me, Jake, I'll show you that there is this vigil here. This is where this woman, whose name we still don't know, spent her last moments on Earth. It is a striking scene. Next to a flower, there is a piece of broken taillight. This is so fresh that her blood is still splattered on the snow here on Portland Avenue at East 34th Street. I'll leave you with this, Jake. This is a city that has worked really hard to rebuild after the George Floyd riots. This is a police department that has worked really hard to reorganize themselves, to retrain their officers, to make sure it is
Well, she's blocking both lanes. So she see that there's regular traffic that needed to get through, and they were, kind of getting upset or whatnot too. So she bagged up so they can go through, and you can see her waving like, hey, go ahead, go through. She wasn't trying to be forceful. She didn't show any attentions like she's trying to hit anyone. No. She's just sitting there like, hey, everybody wake up, they're out here. One officer went up to her, videoed her face, ICE, videoed her face, because there wasn't any police officers. They went around to the back, they got her license plate number, and I'm thinking, hey, at that time, they can follow up and, hey, traffic violation, whatever you want to call it, messing up our investigation, interfering, whatever you're doing. No, the gray pickup truck pulls up, jump out. It seemed like they jump out before they even basically put it in park. It's crazy, but they went out and he aggressively tried to open up her door. She bags up in the car. And that's how I felt that she still was in reverse. So she backed up, and the officer's trying to, she puts it in drive. I see the officers like in front of another officer went in front of the car from the passenger side, and when she started driving forward, let off the shots. I didn't hear anything. It could possibly be, hey, stop. I didn't really hear any of that. I didn't hear any commands like, hey, get out the car. But who knows? I'm inside of the house. I'm not outside. But this is what I'm taking off of it. As she pulls forward, the ICE officer fires off his shots. And about maybe 10 feet away from where she got shot, all of a sudden the car just sped up fast and ran into the back of that.
We now know who the woman is that was just killed by ICE agents in Minneapolis. The woman is identified as Renee Good right here, a mother who lived in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And this is allegedly the officer that took her life today when he shot through her windshield. You can see the car right here. This is believed to be the bullet hole that ended up taking Renee's life. Her mother ended up having to identify her after she heard about the story. She said Renee was one of the kindest people she has ever known. And the only public profile we can find on her is her IG, where it says that she was a poet, a writer, a wife, and a mom, and a guitar player from Colorado living in Minneapolis. And in response to this, there are massive riots going on outside the federal courthouse in Minneapolis. They are now breaking through windows and glass, and officers are actively trying to hold the door.
We demand full accountability and justice for Renee.
Renee Nichole Good had been married to a gentleman named Timmy Ray.
Our ICE officers were out in an enforcement action. They got stuck in the snow because of the adverse weather that is in Minneapolis. They were attempting to push out their vehicle, and a woman attacked them.
So look, that's her parked. She's saying a woman attacked them. That's her parked sideways in the road. They're walking up to her. Look at that. The calumniation. Dude, that's my new favorite word. The calumniator. Knowingly, let's get it. Knowingly, one who falsely and knowingly accuses another of anything disgraceful or maliciously propagates false reports. To accuse falsely. You guys.
And those surrounding them.
Look. So she was trying to back away from the cars in front of her, right? She's sideways, bro. She ain't doing shit.
To run them over and
Now she's backing up. There's no one in front of her. There's no one behind her.
Them with her vehicle.
Now she goes forward.
An officer of ours acted quickly and defensively shot.
And she wrecks into the white car up there, up in the top right.
To protect himself and the people.
You see her hit the car because she's dead.
Around him. Wow. And my understanding is that she was hit and is deceased.
You tell me if that sounds accurate. An American citizen was shot in the face while driving away from ICE agents. They were yanking on her door handle. There was one on the passenger side, one on the driver's side. She was driving away from them, and an ICE agent shot her in the face. This is Kristi Noem's reason for why they did this. An American citizen.
And so what's awesome about this, because the hypocrisy of this group of people, right? That's the joy of the hypocrite. Let's get it, man. Because they are hypocrites, because they've been doing this to Jake. Now, again, we are here. We are in what's called the affliction of Zion. Okay? What does that mean? Well, we're being punished because of why? Because we committed adultery against our husband, our power, our God, and our Redeemer, Yahweh wa Yahweh Shai, by passing the holy seed, the joy of the hypocrite. The joy of the hypocrite. By passing the holy seed, which means our children, through the fires of Moloch. We were worshiping the false gods of the other nations when we were already given the name of Yahweh and his wisdom, knowledge, and understanding through the prophets. We were already given the best thing. He gave us the best thing he could have given us. He gave us our heritage in these precepts, and we still went off and wanted to be like the nations. So what did he do? He let the nations rule over us. And now here we are in America. We're the most envied and copycatted race of people on planet Earth. We're the most influential people on Earth, but we don't know who we are. And all the nations copycat us and hate us at the same time. Why? Because Deuteronomy chapter 28 explains the curses. We are being punished by Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, and now he's waking up the elect. And we have now been given the breath. He's given us his name back and the name of his son, Yahweh Shai, back. And through those names, we are also made to understand by the Spirit, by the Holy Spirit, the truth, wisdom, knowledge, understanding of these scriptures. And now we're able to navigate everything that's happening today through prophecy. And we learn so through by following the men, the elders and the apostles of the great millstone. We're not doing this by ourselves. We get downloads and revelations and lessons on our own, And we also get downloads and revelations as we listen to our elders and apostles of Great Millstone teach. But because of our proximity, now Yahweh Shai woke me up away. I woke up listening to something on the internet that wasn't from GMS. I was woken up by some group doing an animation on Deuteronomy 28. But for 8 months, I was searching. I was listening to a lot of camps. And when GMS came across my algorithms, that precept, you will hear a voice. This is the way, walk ye in it. That's what that was. I will give you pastors who will teach you wisdom, knowledge, understanding according to my heart, according to my lob, according to my mind. That's GMS. Those precepts are specific to that camp. Once I started listening to GMS, I realized, okay, these men are the guys that have it. I stopped listening to all the other camps. I don't need, and I won't listen to IUIC, to fucking Hassad and Deacon Genesis or whatever their new name is, Sakari, Wi-Fi, Sons of Thunder, BOW. I don't need that. Those guys don't have it. They're missing key elements or key aspects to the doctrine because they reject the elders and the apostles of the Great Millstone. And you can't reject who Yahweh Shai sent, because if you reject who Yahweh Shai sent, you're rejecting Yahweh Shai. If you reject Yahweh Shai, you're rejecting Yahweh. It's just that simple, man. It seriously is that. I don't understand how, and I'm not an official member. I attend camp at GMS, but I'm not a member of GMS. But based on what I've learned in the last 4 years by watching them and listening to them, I don't understand how I couldn't do a lesson and not acknowledge them. There's no way. And I'm not tooting my own horn. It doesn't make any sense. Why would I want to get up in here and teach and boast on myself and not acknowledge the elders and the apostles of the Great Millstone, bro? And all the other men in those camps, bro. You understand how much I've learned from Elder Manat Zappa and Elder Yasharamba, the head, Elder Manat Zappa, the head of South Carolina, I believe. Dude, he's so badass. And freaking Elder Yasharamba, the head of Dallas. And of course, I listen to Elder Apostle Tahar and Elder Apostle Gabar. And I've personally I got the blessing to meet and to salute Elder Apostle Rayamlam. There's no way I'm not going to acknowledge these men, bro. And then to see their old videos and the consistency of their doctrine for the past 30, 35, 40 years, I'm going to listen to them and then try to start my own thing and boast. No, bro, it's not happening. Anyways, I didn't mean to go off on a tangent. So let me talk this precept. Job, Salakia, 20 verse 5, that the triumphing of the wicked is short and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment. These people are hypocrites, man. Okay? I'm not having some malicious, giggly, some white girl died. No. But we need to see the same strategy, this same wicked strategic practice that Esau has done to the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans since they've been in power. This is all they've ever done to us. They've treated us like crap. They've stolen from us. They've lied about us. They've raped us. They've murdered us. And they've gotten on TV, and through their pseudoscience, through their false narratives, they've accused us of it's our fault why they do what they do to us. And here we see them doing the exact same playbook to a so-called white girl. And you can see, look at this. This is out of all the videos I played, this one gives the best. This lines up. You see the evidence up top, and then you see the evidence on the bottom. She is calumniating. She is going off of a script that says that this woman was doing something wrong, and she was attacking the men of authority. Therefore, they had to defend themselves. I'm going to let this play. Look at this shit.
Were out in enforcement action.
Hold on, let me get calumniator one last time. Look, one who falsely and knowingly accuses another of anything disgraceful or maliciously propagates false reports. And this, that's the root word in
Renee Nichole Good had been married to a gentleman. Renee Nichole Good had been married to a gentleman named Timmy.
They took
Renee Nichole Good.
They took that video down, you guys.
Renee Nichole Good had been married for 5 years.
Oh my God, they took that video down. Did they? What the fuck? It just disappeared. It's not there anymore. No, here we go.
That is in Minneapolis. They were attempting.
No, I want the one.
We now know.
Renee Nicole Good had been married.
Damn, bro, they took that video off. I can't even. It was right above this one, and it was so perfectly put together where the woman's lying, and you see the evidence of it happening, and it's two different completely. Fuck.
We now know
That is in Minneapolis. They were attempting to push out their vehicle, and a woman attacked them.
So she was saying this while somebody was
Breaking news.
They were playing this video at the same time, and then you could see that she's not being attacked. They're not being attacked. To show you just the wicked hypocrisy of these people, they took that fucking video down in real time, bro.
My video's breaking news.
See, she's not attacking them. She's pulling away. Pow. He shoots her.
Breaking.
That is in Minneapolis. They were attempting to push out their vehicle, and a woman attacked them and those surrounding them and attempted to run them over and ram them with her vehicle. An officer of ours acted quickly and defensively shot to protect himself and the people around him. And my understanding is that she was hit and is deceased. We're continuing.
So you see that? I pray that this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakadosh, and double honors to the elders and apostles, the great millstone of whom we'll learn from. This is your brother, Radah. Shalom.